The Knicks back in action tonight. They'll visit the Hawks, with New York looking for their first win against a team with a winning record in nearly a month. During the broadcast of the Knicks' blowout victory over the well under 500 Chicago Bulls Friday night, Mike Breen had some interesting comments in regards to those who view this season as, quote, championship or bust for New York. Listen.
There are many Knicks fans and many in the media and many within the organization who feel that this season would be considered a disappointing one if the Knicks don't make the NBA Finals. Obviously, a championship is what everyone wants, and that's the goal. But just remember where the franchise was before Leon Rose arrived. Leon Rose and his staff have done a tremendous job, and then you think about some of the play, like Julius Randle was a big part of the turnaround. Tom Thibodeau, a big part of the turnaround, and of course Jalen Brunson, a key figure in turning this struggling franchise around. It's amazing, and sometimes it's easy to forget there were a lot of dark years.
There were a lot of dark years. You won't find me ever saying Mike Breen is wrong, but do you think he is?
This is about to be cinema.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Breen is a Hall of Famer. One of the greatest voices in the history of sports. I love this man. I revere this man. He's special to me. What he said, what you just heard on national television, is one of the most blasphemous comments that has ever come out of his mouth. See, this is the problem. This is the problem. I hope Burke Magnus is watching. I hope Jimmy Pitaro was watching. I hope Josh Tomorrow. I hope Bob Iger's watching. I love this man, Mike Breen. That's my guy. I love him. Bang! One of the great, he's great. What has happened to you? He's the voice of the New York Knicks and MSG since 1991. Did you know that?
I did.
We know what he does for us, ESPN, ABC. Mm-hmm. But you can't allow this to go unchallenged. You've been there. We know that the New York Knicks have improved. I love Jalen Brunson. Josh Hart, all this stuff, us making news. Please, I love Josh Hart. Like Mikal Bridges, I ain't rooting against you. I'm rooting for you, my brother. I need it. I need it. Because New York Knicks fans have suffered. We haven't won a championship since Richard Nixon left office. We haven't won a championship since 1973. You understand what I'm saying to you? It's before Marvin Gaye turned it out for the national anthem. And you're telling us, oh, you got to remember the bad season that you had before Leon Rose. We appreciate Leon Rose and the job that he's done. Does that mean that we're supposed to be satisfied with every damn thing that falls short of a trip to the NBA Finals? We ain't even asked for the championship. We just said get there. We just said get there. And you know, you can't give up 6 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, who isn't an all-star. Damn it, Mike Breen, don't do this. Don't give passes. We need a trip to the finals because it's not looking good in the future. Boston's not going away. Detroit's coming. I'm going to stop right there and let you go because I want to be respectful to Mike Breen. But when I see you, and I will see you, we're going to talk about this, Mike Breen. I love you. You know I love you, bro. But we're going to talk about this.
This is called pent-up anger.
That's all. That's all this. It's therapy.
And anger.
This is therapy. That's all. Mike Breen was speaking from 30,000 feet. He was
30,000 feet. He's the voice of the New York Knicks since 1991. That's 35 years.
Speaking from the ivory tower, Stephen A.
Ain't no ivory tower. He right courtside for the last 35 years.
And he was saying, Stephen A., how hard it has been that now you can't even enjoy being a 50-win team. There's no joy.
We did the last 2 years.
There's no joy from Stephen A. You know what happened? You fired your coach. You traded all those picks for Mikal Bridges. Your owner went on the radio and said, you got to get to the finals this year. That's why we have the high expectations, because Mike Breen's employer said that you got to get there.
Yeah, well, the problem is, as I mentioned earlier, the Knicks have not beat a team over 500 in nearly a month. They have a shot tonight, though.
I dropped the
against
ball.
The Hawks.
I dropped the ball as the executive producer of this show. It will not happen again. I needed more time because I had so much damn more to say, but we're running out of time and we can't do it because the damn producers in our ear telling us we got to go to commercial. I dropped the ball because I didn't have enough time to say all that I wanted to say. Mike Breen, I'm looking for you. I am looking for you, sir. We can't have this.
The good news
we
is
can't have this.
you have another show that gives you more time to talk about this as long as you want. So that's some good news.
So what does this mean for the race out in the West? Take a look at this. Last week we were talking about the Lakers had a little cushion. That cushion is gone. The Nuggets are right there, staring in your face. It's the same exact record. We still got a few games in the regular season, but don't look down. Below that, you got the Rockets 1 game back as well. So we can see the Lakers, if they don't act right a little bit, they could be going from 3 to 6. Who knows? We will see. All right, Sam Quinn tapping in with us here and everything in the association. Sam, we just showed everyone at home that 3 to 6 race there when it comes to the Lakers. Obviously, since Luka's been out, they've lost the last 2, but when you see it now at number 3 for the Lakers, is there a chance they could be at 4 and 5 with the other 2 teams trending up?
Oh, absolutely. Dallas was one of the games that they thought they could win. They've got one against Utah as well, which should factor in as a pretty straightforward win. The other 3 are Golden State, Phoenix, and Oklahoma City. The Thunder especially are going to be very motivated to win that game because they're probably going to want to do everything in their power to get Denver up to 3 so that they don't have to face Nikola Jokic in the second round. They've got a game against Denver later this week as well. I would imagine they will be strategically resting some players. You know, that win Denver had over San Antonio over the weekend really changed the equation here because not only did it push Denver up a little bit, but it also Thunder a little bit of breathing room against the Spurs for number 1. Now they're feeling safe. They could probably afford to throw that game against Denver and set the Nuggets and Spurs up to play in the second round where they only have to play one of those very scary opponents, not 2. I would imagine that when the dust settles, the Lakers and the Rockets in some order are going to be 4 and 5. Denver's going to be up to be 3, and we're going to get to see that Nikola Jokic, Victor Wembanyama series in the second round that we've all really been hoping for.
Well, we'll be hoping to see Luka Doncic in the postseason as well, and he's heading to Europe to get treatment on that hamstring after we saw that injury not too long ago, and hoping to be back for the postseason. Chances that happens, it is still a hammy now.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll put on my not a doctor hat. I don't really know the mechanics of fixing a hamstring. I'm just going to broadly say this feels a little bit irresponsible to me considering where the Lakers are with Austin Reeves also hurt, given how thin this roster is, even at full strength. We didn't really look at the Lakers as a possible or likely championship contender this season. With Austin Reeves sidelined, like maybe you bring Luka back in the middle of a first-round series when you're probably trailing. I think back to James Harden coming back from the same injury, a grade 2 hamstring strain against the Bucks in 2021. He was a shell of himself when he rushed his way back. And then, of course, we have Tyrese Halliburton last year playing hurt in the finals, tearing his Achilles. You have numerous examples of that throughout history. You know, Grant Hill all the way back in 2000. His career was never the same. There's just not enough to gain for me to risk putting Luka Doncic out here for what is frankly a lost cause when you consider the risk to next year and beyond. Luka has a chance to be the franchise player for the Lakers for the next decade. There isn't enough to gain by putting him back on the court now. The goal here should be maximizing your odds for the future. I know it hurts given how well they were playing, but you kind of just have to punt this postseason.
Yeah, teams get very hungry this time of year, and it has never paid off the past 5 or 6 years. We have evidence of seeing that others in the postseason making those last season pushes. Elsewhere, Steph Curry, he's back. And he looked really good, 29 points last night, although in a losing effort against the Rockets. But Steve Kerr feels that with him back in the fold, they have a fighting chance. I'm just curious from your perspective here, what fighting chance do they have? Are we just talking play-in or actually making a run here in the postseason?
I mean, I guess a fighting chance to end their season with a little bit of dignity. I really don't know if I can go much further than that. Could they make it through the play-in? Sure. In a one-game setting, having somebody as good as Stephen Curry is an enormous advantage. Like, yeah, they could beat Portland. They could beat the Clippers. They could, certainly beat anybody in that play-in bracket. But they make it to the first round. They're playing against Oklahoma City. Like, that series is a walk. They're going to lose in 4 or 5, and they're going to go into the offseason in roughly the same position they would have otherwise. If anything, I think it'd probably be better for them to lose in that first play-in game, secure a lottery pick that their hope moves up and gets them a top young prospect, or more likely they can trade in the offseason. I think next year they are going to be aggressive. They are going to try to improve this roster. They did well with that Kristaps Porzingis trade, but they don't have Jimmy Butler. They don't have a complete roster. Moses Moody hurt as well right now. I don't know what they really expect to happen if they make the playoffs. I mean, I don't know that there's much value for a team this old to just get wiped off the court by the Thunder. But you know what? You can go out with a little bit of dignity, and there's something to that.
All right, we'll see what happens to the Dubs there. Dang, that kind of hurt me a little bit, Sam. I didn't know you had that in your bag, buddy. Let's go over to the East when we look at those teams from 5 to 10, and mainly so 5 and 6 trying to stay out of that play-in realm there. How might the East shake out here the closer we get to the end? When you look at these teams, you obviously have the Hawks and Sixers, but then you got the Raptors, Hornets, and Magics in 10 in that play-in realm.
Yeah, you can kind of split these teams into 3 clusters. Atlanta has really distinguished itself. The Hawks are probably going to be number 5. They have that 2-game cushion in the loss column. It looks like they're going to be playing Cleveland. Then you've got these next 3 teams, Philly, Toronto, and Charlotte. Charlotte's playing the best of any of them, and Charlotte is the single team in this entire bottom half of the East that probably scares those top 4 teams in the East. Nobody wants to play the Hornets. They've been one of the best teams in the NBA for basically 3-4 months now, but they're operating at a disadvantage with that extra loss in the loss column and not having the tiebreaker against either Toronto or Philly. So they're probably stuck in that 7 to 8. It's probably going to be Toronto or Philly in number 6. I would lean Philly, just given that they're playing better right now. And then those 2 Florida teams at 9 and 10, the Magic and Heat. It's been rough. They're not playing well. Orlando seems like they're limping towards the end of a season in which there are significant changes coming in the offseason. Miami just hasn't had it, ever since Bam Adebayo's 83-point game. I suspect they're going to play each other in the 9-10, and then whoever loses that, or whoever wins that game, rather, is going to lose in the final play-in game. So I'm looking at Philly. I'm looking at Charlotte as sort of the potential bracket busters here. But Atlanta has distinguished itself at number 5. They've been the best of that group.
All right. Appreciate as always, Sam Quinn, tapping on the association. We will see how it pans out the next couple of weeks here in the league there. Don't forget, I want you to take a look at these odds here in terms of what we might see in terms of that finals team. Yeah, Thunder still up there. Then the Spurs not too far behind, 5-1. Then we see the Celtics, yes, 550, and then the Nuggets, 11-1. Outside of that, you don't see too many others representing the East outside the Cavs and Knicks, but we will see what happens the rest of the year.